Yeah. So, did Alex tell you what I wanted to talk about a little bit, or?
Well, just minor details on the email I received from him. It was regarding the newly updated LEADTech website, but then when I was joining the meeting, it said the CSPD website.
That was just kind of me abbreviating to make things quick. I was moving quick. Yeah, I saw actually an article in the Gazette about the LETAC website changes. I think that's what the latest thing is,
Yes.
the latest one of the new things. So, can you just give me a little bit of background, sort of tell me what are these changes?
Well, these changes are for the community to become aware of everything that LETAC is doing. We know that a lot of our public has not been, we've just not had good methods for getting the word out to them about our meetings, how we receive their concerns or questions, things of that nature. And that's one of the topics we've been exploring this first quarter of 2021. So we're really excited to launch this newly updated website, which is going to be user-friendly to our public and user-friendly even to us as commission members. So we've got 7 tabs that our public can go to. And first I need to share that they can go to coloradosprings.gov/LETAC. That's our acronym, LETAC, and they'll be able to go right to our website. Then when they arrive at the website, they will see 7 tabs. One, which will be about the LETAC, which is our mission and goals, will be posted for them to see, how they can contact us, and they'll be able to reference the charter that was given to us by City Council, Ordinance 2044. Then they'll go to the second tab, which is titled Upcoming Meetings. Our meetings are held on the first and third Monday of each month. They will find the link to join our meetings via Microsoft Teams. They'll see a telephone number and a conference ID if they're unable to join us virtually. And then they'll also see a schedule of our meetings in 2021. So already our primary goal is to make sure that our public is informed about every aspect of our work and what we're doing. So now on the third tab, they will see our listening sessions, which is formerly our town halls. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but we just also started doing monthly town halls, but we've renamed them to listening sessions. This provides our public an opportunity to share their concerns, questions, and comments regarding policing and public safety.
Okay. When did this?
Shall I go on?
What was that? What was that?
Oh, I was going to say, shall I go on? But go ahead.
I think, you covered what the main things I wanted to know was how people can get involved. So you can skim over the rest of it, but yeah, those were the main things, but kind of round it up for me.
Okay.
What are the last few things?
Okay, well, wonderful. Our public will find on our newly updated website our listening and learning initiatives, which are communications, racial bias, crisis response, and use of force. Currently, we're working with the Colorado Springs Police Department on use of force. And that's a big topic, so it may take us a little longer to go through that area because it is huge.
Okay.
And then we also have developed progress reports. They're not official meetings, official minutes of meetings, but it's another way that we're reaching out to our public to inform them of what goes on in our meetings. So they'll be able to see that as well. They'll also see the biographical sketches of all commissioners, and they'll be able to see a chronological list of media events that LETAC has been involved in. So we're excited about it. They'll also be able to find our agendas and our minutes for all of our meetings.
Okay, perfect. When did all of the website get published like that? When did it become officially up and running?
And it has been updated. Now, we've always had this information, but it's been updated and made to be more user-friendly in the past month or two.
Okay. So how long has the option been on there for people to listen in and be a part of the town halls?
Okay, now we've been doing our town hall since February.
Right, but have they always
But
been
the
able
problem,
to access it like this, or is them being able to access it like this new?
yes, they've been able to access it, but we
Okay.
just made it more user-friendly.
Okay. Okay. And going back, I think you said toward the beginning, the really making it user friendly is you're hoping you'll get more engagement. Is that correct?
That's our goal. The more the public is informed, the more they'll be engaged and participate in our process.
So up until now, have the town halls and, has engagement been kind of low? How would you describe it?
We would like to see more engagement. However, I can share with you that some of the public who does engage or who do engage in our town halls or listening sessions, they tend to be a little frustrated because we are listening to their concerns, but we're having to refer their concerns to CSPD or to city administrative staff. We are not the voice of CSPD, and we are not the voice of the city and city council. So when they're seeking answers, we must refer them to those entities.
Okay, so it sounds like people don't have clarity on what exactly they come to you for versus what they need to go, directly to solve a different kind of problem.
Exactly.
Okay, so I guess how do you hope to clear that up? Because I could imagine people probably want to say all kinds of things that unfortunately are not really in your LETAC's wheelhouse. They're under a different umbrella.
Absolutely. Again, what we're trying to do is encourage our public to participate one step at a time. We are willing to be an avenue between CSPD and our public. That's why we're here, to provide recommendations to the city council to promote understanding and improved understanding and relationships between CSPD and the public. We're a conduit, but we invite them to at least use us. If they don't feel that they are comfortable going directly to, then use us and we will get the concerns to them, and then CSPD can respond.
Okay. What are some of the simple things that, you've heard people coming to you guys for that maybe would be examples of concerns that should be diverted elsewhere?
At one of our initial town halls, a volunteer, a community volunteer, a watch captain or a neighborhood watch captain contacted us because they felt that the leadership of one of the precincts was not being responsive to them, even though they were volunteering their time to communicate, make relations in the communities more, what do I want to say, positive, trying to keep a good communication between CSPD and the communities. However, there was some frustration because they were saying that they were getting no response from the leadership of that particular precinct or division. And so they came to us asking us, well, what is it we can do to get the commander to respond to us? So that was one of the issues that was brought to us. Other issues have been dealing with past matters that have occurred in Colorado Springs that we really have no purview. You know, we cannot do anything about it, but they just want to have their voices heard.
Okay. So in other words, what should people come to you guys for if they say have something to say during a town hall?
It's their meeting. It's the public's meeting. If they have questions, if they have concerns, if they have remarks or comments about policing and public safety, we want them to participate.
Okay, so but we just went over things that like you guys have to divert elsewhere. Does that mean you like if those are things people shouldn't come to you for, then what should people come to you for?
Well, not necessarily. We're not putting a limit on what they can come to us for. Where we're limited is how we can respond. So we do share with the public at the onset of each one of those listening sessions what our purpose is. That is to listen. And then we will make sure that their concerns will get directed to the entity that can handle their concern or question.
Okay, so in other words, your guys' purpose right now, at least, is the medium of communication from citizen to the right office.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And is that what's intended to be your purpose right now?
That is according to our ordinance that we must comply with at this point.
Okay. So it's so with the meetings, people can listen in, but if it's a meeting, it has a set agenda. So people, unless they're on the agenda to speak, that's not an opportunity to say something. Is the opportunity to say something the town halls?
Also have an opportunity to speak at our meetings. I'm glad you brought that up because we have a dual session meeting format in that those 4 topics that I listed in our at the beginning of our interview: communications, racial bias, crisis response, use of force. The format that we use for our meetings, we meet the first and third Monday of every month. The first meeting in the month allows CSPD to present on that particular topic. The second half of that meeting is provided for citizens' comments on that particular topic.
Okay.
Citizens can, so they do have an avenue at the first meeting of every month to speak about that particular topic, as well as during the listening sessions or town halls.
Okay. Got it. So it's that meeting and then also the town halls are for input.
Yes.
Okay. Have you guys, do you have, other than people actually being tuned into these meetings or listening sessions, is there any talk of like can people submit concerns other than just via email? Like, I don't know, maybe is there like a question submit sort of an option?
During the entire, these are regular meetings now, and during the listening sessions, they are able to provide their comments during a chat in our chat room. So we receive those, and the city administrative staff have been very good with receiving those chat questions or concerns and directing them to the places where they need answers. So there's all kinds of ways for our public to communicate with us. We just would like to see more engagement and participation.
Okay. All right. What about, do you guys in meetings go over if people email you, their questions and concerns, things like that? I'm
Yes.
thinking
We're
of
receiving
like a not in real time option. Like say you have a concern, but you can't tune into those meetings. How do those people's voices get heard?
Yes, there is an avenue for them to use. They can email us at LETAC, LETAC at coloradosprings.gov, and we receive their emails that way. They can also, we receive their emails at that particular email address. There's also a phone number that they can call, and city staff has a representative who receives those for us because they can be numerous. So they receive them for us, and they make sure that we all, the commission as a whole, receives those concerns. We get letters, we get emails, we get phone calls, and they make sure that we receive them.
Okay. Now going back to, I know those 4 or 5 bullet points, racial bias, crisis intervention. I think you said you're currently in crisis response, or is that
No, currently we're doing use of force.
use of force? Sorry, that's what it was.
Yes.
So you're going through, you're kind of touching base with police on where they stand with these things. Now, what happens when you get through covering all those topics? How are you guys going to move forward?
That's when we come together and we look at all of the research, all of the information received, all the presentations, the comments from our public, and we're receiving comments from our publics daily. But we take all of that information, and that's when we get down to the real nitty-gritty and say, as a commission, what recommendations will we agree upon to provide to City Council? And once we come together, and hopefully unanimously we come together on individual recommendations, then we hope we will submit them to City Council, and City Council at that time will review them.
Okay, got it. Any idea of when you might be in that process of submitting those recommendations?
Well, I can tell you our listening and learning sessions that we are in process of right now will be completed by the end of May. And so then we will then have the opportunity to either revisit some of the information or move forward with the recommendations. And as I said previously, these topics have taken one meeting for presentation and comments, but use of force is so huge, we may have to expand it to maybe 2 or 3 meetings. We're not sure right now. We just completed just the laws of use of force, but there's so many other areas. So if that occurs and CSPD requires additional meetings, then our timeline might push us into the summer as far as submitting our recommendations to City Council.
Okay. Do you have an idea so far of any recommendations that you have, or are you waiting until you gather everything to make any?
We're waiting to gather all of the information at this time.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's all my questions. Anything else though that comes to your mind?
Not at this time, but when I got a little confused as to whether you wanted to talk about our website or CSPD's website, I hustled over to the CSPD website to look at their data hub, and I can share with you that I've even seen an improvement from when they first launched it. There's way more information there. So it looks like we're collaborating in making sure that our public receives as much information as possible.
Okay.
So that's our goal.
And that is, I believe, what I saw, that they were putting more details and more information on their website. Was that a product of some conversation they had with LETAC, or was that an initiative of the police department on their own?
That was an initiative on the part of the police department on their own. They had started this before our first quarter, so I knew that they were planning on rolling it out anyway.
Okay, so
Mhm.
those plans were in the works before LETAC even existed. Is that true? Or
Yes.
okay,
Mhm.
got it.
They were working on it, yes.
Okay. All right. I think that's all my questions. I'm good.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity, and hopefully we can hear from you again when we get into our recommendation phase.
Yes, that was the intention. So be sure to let me know. I'll put it on my calendar though for like late May or early June to check in.
Perfect. Thanks
All
so
right.
much,
Thank
Melissa.
you.
Have a
Bye
good
bye.
day.
You too.